Let's talk about society and politics. Presented by Smith Co.
Hello, and welcome back to Let's Talk About Society and Politics. So, today we're going to be looking at is the educational system equal? So, of course, obviously the education system differs around the world. Different countries have different education systems, and you may disagree or agree whether it is equal or not. But you also will have different views based on different things, because are student to students, are they equal? Are student to teacher, are they equal? Is the student to the country or the thing controlling the schools, are they equal? Is the curriculum equal to what is the curriculum's power of a student equal to what if the curriculum is bad, can it be changed? That sort of situation. But today we'll be looking at the actual educational system used, really. And the educational system that's used is, some refer to as the banking method of education. This is used around the world by many countries. And what's strange about it is that it is a relatively strange one to be used, because it relies entirely on someone's real memory most of the time. So what happens here is that student doesn't really learn anything. What they're doing is because teachers are there, the teachers' jobs are now replaced, not to teach, but to help you pass exams, or to help you get the certificate. So instead of actually, achieving that, so when a teacher's bad at their job, that doesn't mean they're bad at, if a teacher is very good at teaching, that doesn't mean they're good at their job as a teacher has become to be. Because as a teacher has become to be, it's almost like a cheat to win that exam, to get a good result in that exam. And that's the situation that's arrived. That it's odd, because if you look at it, you actually will sense that there is inequality there, because this brings in actually all things as well. Because if you look at if a student is wealthy, or if their parents were, or whatever, if they have access to wealth, then there are ways, generally, when they use a banking method of education, it helps them, because they're able to oftentimes use alternative methods to teaching, which can be far better when it comes to achieving good results in that exam. And then you've got an issue of, just the simple fact of, if you aren't able to remember this in the exam format, or if you feel stressed, as a lot of people do, because even if you do well, if you get 90% in your test, well, let's say if that had been done in a non-stressful environment, if you hadn't even realized you were in an exam, you just asked questions and whatever the case may be over the course of time, and you tested 99%, and that's the point. Even if you think, oh, well, I did amazingly, there's no problem here. But that's the problem, because by saying that, you are essentially saying, well, I did well. Yes, but could you have done better had there not been that banking method, and instead you'd been that you thought these things? Because if you look at it, a lot of the time, if you ask someone to do the exam that they did when they were going off into the world, whether they were very successful in that world, whether they, weren't so successful, they would generally not be able to do as well as they did. Or, in some cases, if they did badly, they may be able to do better. And that's the point, because if you do well, then your standard actually tends to decline, which is a sign, which is that it's not working. The information doesn't stay in there, which is obviously a problem, because you don't want that information to not stay in there. You want it to stay in there for as long as possible, and obviously people will forget. But what you'll find is they won't just forget the information. If you look at particular mathematics, you'll see that people will forget how to do things, and that's an issue. You don't want that at all, because that is showing that your entire system is based on people's memory at the time. And then essentially what you're saying is, well, this person received a high grade in the certificate, but 20 years on, they may be skilled in what they're doing, and they most likely will be. If you are in an industry and you don't, specifically business, if you are in that industry and you're not your own boss, so there is a supervisor who is holding you to strict standards, there is a likelihood that, yeah, you will be good at the thing you're doing, because if not, you will most likely be fired. And that's the one. That's where you'll see a lot of the time people will go into different industries, and unfortunately it won't work out for them because they're in that situation, because they will be able to get opportunities. And that's the issue, because people are sometimes able to get opportunities, but then those opportunities dry up, because once you start, after a few years, people will stop, may in some cases stop looking for that result and instead look at your past experience. And if you then, you may be able to open up doors at this, but once it begins to kind of stop opening up doors, and then people start looking at your previous experience, and they start saying, well, no, actually we don't want you. And that's the problem, because what you've created there is that some people are not given those chances. People aren't given chances to show that they're worth the effort, to show that they're actually good at this job, to show that that's a problem. Because you don't want an issue where you go, oh, why can't this person get a job? Because they did badly in this. But if you gave that person a chance, could they possibly succeed in that job? And it's very possible. But that's an issue, because it's based on this sort of thing where it's like, well, this person definitely will do well. No. This person, especially when it's older, especially when you're looking at someone who's done this test or examination many years ago, then that is really, in many cases, null and void. And it's this problem, which is that if you are wealthy, you can attend. Oftentimes, in most educational systems, you can attend classes or extra classes or whatever the case may be, or very high quality teachers. If your school doesn't have the best quality teachers, then, and if you are, there is available private schools and public schools. That is also something that we'll talk in a further video. And also, if you look at this sort of level whereby it's not shown to be that effective, this is a problem, because it is not a system which will break down if it doesn't show results. Because what happens is, it will give out a result. It will say this person scored very well in this exam, this person is scored higher in this exam, and then people will turn around and say, okay, you scored higher in this exam, you can, if you're talking about a before university level education, in a lot of countries do have tests before university level education or before college education, if there is the opportunity to go there, then they'll often say that. And that is once again a problem, because there are many countries around the world that offer not completely free but close to free education, but then it begins to stop once you reach university level. And that's a problem, because once you start looking at that, once you start saying, well, now you have the marks, so you succeeded in being able, even though you came from even though you weren't wealthy, you still got the very good results, but now you can't attend the university. They will accept you for all grounds. You do the right subjects, you have all the required marks and all this sort of stuff, but you just don't have the money. And that's another problem when you start getting into the money issue, which is education should not be about money. It should not be, if you have the money, you can, get a better result. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, we've seen this before, that's not actually educating yourself. That's just providing you with the piece of paper that says, yes, I achieved high results in this examination. And that is a real problem. So hopefully that will change. If it needs changing, I would say it does, but maybe you disagree. Well, it's all up to each other, Maybe this is a bad thing to say, but, it should be a democratic decision. You can't just say, let's change this thing if people don't agree with it. But if you agree with it, well, that's you. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. Hopefully you'll join us next time when we'll be looking at more about inequality or other things. It's all in this. Let's talk about society and politics. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk About Society and Politics. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, that'd be good. subscriptions apparently are a good thing to have. So thank you if you did that, and thank you in advance if you're going to do that. If you want to view other videos, personally, I think that's better. But I think in the growth sense, apparently subscribers are better. But I think viewing other videos is good. I think it's good. And thank you if you have viewed other videos. That's good. And if you're going to view other videos, once again, thanks.